Imagine spotting a ship drifting across the ocean. Its sails still raised, its cargo untouched, dinner still sitting on the table. But there's one terrifying detail. Not a single person is on board. No captain, no crew, no signs of violence, just silence. These are known as ghost ships, real vessels discovered abandoned at sea under circumstances so strange that even today, many remain unexplained. Were the crews victims of storms, pirates, mutiny, or something even more mysterious? Because once you hear the true stories behind these ships, you may never look at the ocean the same way again. Why ghost ships fascinate us? The oceans cover more than 70% of Earth's surface, yet we've explored only a fraction of them. For centuries, sailors have crossed vast waters where rescue was impossible and communication non-existent. When a ship vanished, it often vanished forever. But occasionally, a vessel returned, not with survivors, but completely empty. These abandoned ships became legends, each carrying unanswered questions and stories frozen in time. Tonight, we'll explore some of the creepiest ghost ships ever discovered and why their mysteries still haunt history. Let's be honest. If you walked onto a ship and found coffee still warm, but nobody on board, you wouldn't be saying, "This seems perfectly normal." You'd be getting off that ship immediately. And our first ghost ship remains one of the most famous maritime mysteries ever recorded. Case number 1, the Mary Celeste. In 1872, the merchant ship Mary Celeste was found drifting in the Atlantic Ocean. The cargo was largely intact. Food remained on board. Personal belongings were untouched. Even the crew's valuables were still there. Yet, every single person had disappeared. The captain, his wife, their young daughter, and 7 crew members, gone. The only missing item was the ship's lifeboat. No signs of struggle, no blood, no evidence of piracy. Over 150 years later, no one knows exactly what happened. Some historians suggest panic over a possible alcohol vapor explosion may have caused the crew to abandon ship. Others believe rough weather or navigational mistakes played a role. But no theory explains every detail. If one abandoned ship sounds unbelievable, the next one drifted through the Arctic, completely trapped in ice. Case number 2. The Baychimo. The Baychimo was a Canadian cargo ship operating in the Arctic during the 1930s. After becoming trapped in sea ice, the crew was evacuated. They assumed the ship would sink. Instead, it broke free. For decades afterward, people continued reporting sightings of the Baychimo. It drifted alone through Arctic waters, sometimes frozen, sometimes moving, always empty. Nicknamed the Ghost Ship of the Arctic, it became one of the longest-running maritime mysteries ever recorded. Its final fate remains unknown. Imagine seeing an abandoned ship appear through thick Arctic fog. No lights, no voices, no crew. Would you climb aboard or quietly sail the other direction?
Case number 3, the Kaz II. In 2007, Australian authorities found a catamaran called Kaz II drifting off the coast. The engine was running. The GPS was on. Food sat on the table. A laptop remained open. Fishing gear was ready. Life jackets were still on board. But the 3 experienced sailors had vanished. Despite extensive searches, no trace of them was ever found. Investigators believe one man may have fallen overboard, while the others entered the water attempting a rescue. But certainty remains impossible. Yet perhaps the strangest case wasn't abandoned by accident. It may have been abandoned by fear. Case number 4, the Carroll A Deering. In 1921, the massive schooner Carroll A Deering ran aground off the coast of North Carolina. When rescuers boarded, the crew had vanished. Navigation equipment was missing. The ship's logbook was gone. Meals appeared partially prepared. No captain. No sailors. No explanation. Some blamed pirates. Others suspected mutiny. Still others connected it to mysterious disappearances along the Atlantic coast. More than a century later, no definitive answer has ever emerged. Let's pause for a second. If these stories happened in movies, most people would call them unrealistic. The unsettling part: every one of these ships actually existed. But despite all these mysteries, the greatest question isn't how these ships became empty. It's why stories like these continue to capture our imagination. It's tempting to blame ghosts, sea monsters, or supernatural forces. But history usually tells a different story. Violent storms, mechanical failures, human error, fear, and the unpredictable power of the ocean. Sometimes, people abandon perfectly functional ships because they believe they're moments away from disaster. Other times, nature simply leaves no witnesses behind. Yet even the best explanations can't solve every mystery. Some details remain missing. Some evidence disappeared long ago. And the sea rarely gives back its secrets. Think about this. We've sent spacecraft billions of miles into space. Yet vast parts of our own oceans remain unexplored. Maybe the greatest mysteries aren't above us? They're beneath us? Ghost ships remind us that history isn't always written by survivors. Sometimes, it's written by silence. Each abandoned vessel represents lives interrupted, journeys unfinished, and stories waiting to be understood. Perhaps one day, technology will answer these mysteries. Or perhaps, some truths will remain lost beneath the waves forever. And if you think an abandoned ship with no crew is mysterious, wait until you hear about an entire colony that disappeared without leaving a trace. Right pointing finger emoji. Click the video on your screen now to watch The Lost Colony of Roanoke: What Actually Happened. Over 100 settlers. One mysterious word carved into wood. And a 400-year-old mystery that historians still can't explain. Trust me, that story is every bit as haunting as the ghost ships you've just discovered.